of stuff. It feels like a brand could take this
Mm.
episode and implement it today.
You've done a great job. Would you be willing to share your authorization code so that we can put some Spark ad dollars behind it?
Now what? We got a bunch of emails in our inbox, and they're like, "I'm interested. Tell me more."
Well, now you're actually inbound honeypot, getting more affiliates to come contact you. And so it makes your life easier.
Hey, we are here today with Rafe to talk about TikTok and TikTok shops. I am Adam, founder of Emplicit. We are a leading marketplace agency for ambitious brands. And this is episode 2 in our TikTok Zero to Hero series. So if you are a 7 or 8 figure founder who have no idea where to start when it comes to TikTok, listen to all the old episodes and get caught up. Keep listening because you're going to be we're dropping a ton of knowledge today, and Rafe is the most knowledgeable subject matter expert I've ever seen when it comes to TikTok. So, Rafe, can you do a quick intro on yourself, and then let's just get into it?
For sure. I mean, thank you for that. Such warm welcome. Quick intro on myself. I've been probably playing around on TikTok for now almost 2.5 years. But when I first started, obviously TikTok Shop wasn't a real thing. It was just TikTok. And so I got obsessed with driving external traffic and eyeballs to Amazon listings and selling through stock purely using external traffic with Me Too products. So if I could make it work with the Me Too product, I could make it work with a product that's obviously a lot better designed. And so from that stuff, I've been helping aggregators build out their marketing systems, external marketing systems, and obviously selling on TikTok Shop myself. And yeah, that's where I've been.
And now you're within Implicit, kicking some ass and driving a TikTok strategy for our clients. So, what we're doing here, the plan that we have is to show everything. The curtain is pulled back. We are showing so much value, so much of the roadmap that a brand could just take this and run this themselves, right? Like we want it to be that much value for a
100%.
brand. But just like as a business owner, there are things that I know I could do, but I pay experts to do because I value my time a certain way and I want the expert to do it. That's what we're doing here. So brand sees that we know what we're obviously talking about, that you know what you're talking about. We've got a team that can kick some ass on TikTok, and then they'll come work with us and blow up that channel for themselves.
That's the goal. So with everything that we cover here, it's a complete DIY. So you can pick these strategies up, these tactics up, and go get your internal team to run it yourself, and make it work for you. And then when you're ready to scale, Implicit is probably the best place for you to really do that.
Awesome.
So I would love for you to put on your business hat again, business owner hat again, like you
Go.
did last time, because I think that was really useful. And I think you had a question about you being a business that had just launched on TikTok Shop. Would you like to kind of tee that up?
Let's do it. Okay,
Yeah.
so taking my agency owner hat off, putting my brand owner hat on, and you've teed up TikTok shops. You've created some content. You're a couple weeks in, and you're looking at the reports, and you're seeing no action. What gives? Where do I go next? And what do we do wrong, and how can we fix it?
Awesome. Great question. And actually a lot of brands that have launched are feeling this exact same things, especially a lot of Amazon like first brands. And the first thing I'd say is the first question that I'd ask before I'd give you a tactic or strategy is, how much vertical short form content have you created in the past, if any? And if you've ever posted them or gotten influencers to post your content, was it successful and to what degree? The reason I ask these two questions is because when you're launching on TikTok Shop, the easiest way to be able to work on getting sales on that platform, which costs you basically zero, just cost of goods, is getting that product in front of affiliates that can push your content.
Okay, well, let's say where are we at with the brand? For this example, for this series, I'm a $10 million D2C brand. I'm on Amazon. I've got a Shopify store. I'm using Facebook and Instagram Meta and maybe a little YouTube in the past. That's where I'm at, right? So as far as content, yeah, we've done some Instagram ads and they've converted successfully. They're some of our more successful pieces of content.
So if you have those pieces, Yeah, at the very least, you've had some form of external content that has worked for you, external video
Mhm.
content. So if I had just launched on TikTok Shop, I'm not getting any sales. The first thing I would look at is, okay, how many affiliates have I contacted and what have I given those affiliates? What tools have I given them to be successful in selling my brand?
Okay, so
The-
let's dig in
We're going
on
to
that.
unpack that. Yeah,
Yeah. Well,
100%.
why is that important? Why would you go to affiliates first?
Well, if we're looking at testing a brand new channel, and I think we spoke about this in on the first episode. There's three ways of harnessing traffic on that channel, which is borrowed, paid, and owned. Borrowed is influencers slash affiliates, and TikTok Shop has democratized the influencer relationship, influencer brand relationship. So instead of getting paid a flat fee, you get paid for a commission of what you earn. Or what you sell. So you basically eat what you kill, which is great for us as brands. But what that means is you need to provide something enticing to the affiliates, not just from a commission perspective, but how to create content. If you think about the affiliate and put your feet in their shoes, it's a job for them. They want to make this a full-time thing. So how can I make their job of selling this product as easy as possible? And a lot of brands are like, hey, here's a product, sell it. But they have to come up with the ideas. They have to come up with what sort of pieces to promote so that they can actually sell. And the brands that are doing the best with these affiliates are providing them a nice sandbox in which to work in. That means, hey, show these three things, mention these three things, and here's an example of a good hook that's worked before, and here's an example of a piece of content that worked really well on Instagram or YouTube Shorts or Facebook. And so you're giving them all the ingredients to be successful.
So you're creating that doc, whatever you're calling that master doc.
Mm-hmm.
You're breaking down what you've seen work or some suggestions, and then you're sending that to each affiliate.
Yep, sending it to each affiliate, and I make it very clear that, hey, say it in your own words. You have creative freedom here, but we've given you this so that it will help you sell more. And I'm framing it in a way that's going to benefit them.
Okay. And now,
Yeah,
are you doing this through the TikTok platform? Are you using third-party tools? What's your stack here?
both. So let's say I'm starting with the affiliate center, which is the easiest way to create like connections with these affiliates.
Okay.
Step one, you have an open plan and you need to have a juicy commission, and we'll unpack that in a second. Or you have a targeted plan and you find the creators that you want to work with and you can invite them to these things. And then you just send them a message. You say, hey, so-and-so, I'm from this brand. We want to build a long-term relationship with you. We have, these products selling these many units on these platforms, and they have these many 5-star reviews. We'd love to work out a way of working together. And then here's a link to a creative brief that can help you
Right.
create this
Okay.
content.
So let's get into specifics. If
Yeah.
you're let's call it like good, better, best. Like
Yeah.
how many should we be reaching out to on the good, the better, or the best? Is it 10, 100, a million, right?
Yeah. Good.
And what
Mhm.
does that look like? And then what does that funnel look like? You reach out to 100,
Mhm.
5 get back to you, or
Yeah.
is it more interactive than that?
It really depends, right? So in the beginning,
Mhm.
you are going to be trying to push to get past the inertia of a new TikTok shop with no sales, because these creators are going to look and see how many units you sold, which would be
Okay.
zero, obviously. And so they're looking like, should I reply to this person? Is it actually worth it? And also they're getting inundated. So what I would do, good would be at least minimum 20 to 25 affiliates a day. You're just reaching out to them, just
Okay.
cold
Okay.
messaging. Um,
And
but
is that something an overseas virtual assistant can do, a team member?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah. So if I'm breaking it down from a process perspective, you have one like templated response, and you
Okay.
obviously just replace the name and say, hey, we're from this brand and we'd like to work with you. We're offering really great commissions because we've just launched on TikTok Shop, and this is our main product that's selling the best. We'd love for you to get involved. Here's your creative brief. And then
Okay.
you'd send that to at least 25 people a day when you're first starting out. And that's the good scenario. And you do
And I
that
feel,
every day.
and I
Mhm.
don't want to mention the specific brand, but this is like the brand that we were talking about that is just getting going. These are the questions
Yeah.
that you were asking to figure out what's going on there.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. Because it lets me know like what the baseline is, and that's really important. Um, so let's say you've responded to, or at least you've reached out to 25 people
Yep.
per day, and maybe 5 get back. That's
Okay.
okay. Maybe they
Yeah.
do.
Solid.
Maybe 10, maybe 15. But the whole point is it's not just the initial message. You want to follow up as well. So after 3 days, if you don't hear anything, follow up with them as well. That's the good scenario. And that's like the base level. Now let's
Yep.
go to the better scenario, because there's a few extra steps in that process that I'd recommend. Firstly, I'd up the amount of people that you're outreaching to. You're not just outreaching on an open plan, you're also outreaching for a targeted plan. The difference between the two on TikTok Shop is an open plan is it's open to everyone. And a targeted plan is, hey, I've got this specific commission structure and I'm only targeting the creators that I select and invite to this specific plan. And so it's not available publicly, I guess you could say.
Oh, interesting. So this open plan, anyone can see it. It's like an open marketplace.
Yeah.
And then was it the target plan?
Yeah. Targeted
That's
plan. Yeah.
something that's something you're creating and you're on your back end of TikTok shops. And then
Mm-hmm.
it's more almost like an inviting
Yeah.
someone to it.
Exactly right. You need to
Oh, that's
invite
cool.
them to that. And I when targeted plans started coming out and they're pushing us to start using it more, I thought you'd get better results, but I've just found getting into the inbox and sending more messages are still the easiest way to get people
That's the
involved and excited
80/20.
about it.
So the
Yeah,
80/20,
honestly.
25. I mean, if 25 is good, is 200 better, or does it have
I'd
diminishing
say
returns?
the ideal, like if I'm skipping the better section and like best, I'd want to reach out to 100 a day.
100 a
Like
day.
that's really the target. And honestly, it's a copy paste message. If you have your parameters set
Yeah.
when you're looking for these creators, it's really not much work for like a VA to be able to do that for.
Okay, let's talk about that then.
Yeah.
Parameters, like what does that even mean?
Oh, good question. So when you're in the affiliate center in TikTok Shop, you get to find creators based on a few things. You can find them based on relevant hashtags in your niche. You can find them in broader categories that TikTok offers in their own sort of like catalog.
Mhm.
And then you can also do it by, goods like sold, right? Like how many units they've sold. And so you can filter through all those things. What I usually like doing is I'm looking for people that have a industry hashtag, like a niche hashtag. So I know that they've created content recently uh, or at least at all within this
Okay.
niche, which is awesome. I'm looking for people that have at least sold products above $40 in value, like in
Mhm.
total, in the last like 7 to 15 days. So I know at least they're doing a thing. And then I'm looking at sometimes these creators have badges, like they have Rising Star or Communicates Well and all these things. That's what I'm looking for too, because I'm looking to work with someone. I'm not looking to send a message in an inbox that doesn't come back to me. So those are the basic level parameters. And obviously there's
Okay.
more. And yeah.
And you say, 25 or 100 a day. How many, if you get your parameters in there, narrow it down, is
Mhm.
that like, are we talking about a pool of a couple hundred, or is this just infinite and you can keep going and going on
Well,
outreach?
let's play devil's advocate for here, or at least
Yeah.
let's break that down, okay? Let's choose a supplement industry, and let's say
Hmm.
I have
Yeah,
like a greens.
it's
Yeah.
Expo West next week.
Okay.
There's 5,000 exhibitors in the health wellness space,
Yeah.
and I guarantee all of them are thinking, what should we be doing for TikTok ops? All of them, except maybe a few that are crushing it on there.
Got it. Okay. So what I would do if I were one of those people is I would look at my product, the one that's probably my bestseller or one that I'm about to launch, and I would look at, okay, what are the major keywords for this? And that would be each of those keywords would be search terms when I'm looking for creators. And then I would look at what are the hashtags that this niche or these avatars relate to. So it could be, hashtag morning routine, hashtag night routine, hashtag, healthy 2024, new
Yep.
year, new me. Like these are all relevant hashtags to this niche. And then I would look at all my competing brands and I'd use that as a keyword too to see what sort of creators have worked with them. That alone, those search terms, that at least like a list of 30 right there. And each of those search terms produces like hundreds of affiliates that come up.
Okay.
And so I don't think
So
you'll be wanting
if
for
you're
affiliates
creative enough with your different way of search terms or competitors or
or
related
hashtags.
products,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
you could you're not going to run out of influencers to
You're not
contact.
going to. Not at
Okay.
all. Yeah.
Okay. So
Hmm.
you've targeted them, or you've narrowed them down, you've reached out, and they've even responded the first time. Now
Hmm.
what? We got a bunch of emails in our inbox, and they're like, "I'm interested. Tell me more."
Brilliant. And then from there, if they've communicated and responded to you within the message center and the affiliate
Mhm.
center, you just send them a badge that says, hey, just request a sample here. We'll make sure that we get this sent out today. And then they just click request sample, and then your backend integration. Hopefully, you've integrated with either your 3PL or your Amazon MCF, and then it
Okay.
just gets sent off to them. The beautiful
Automatically.
thing,
That's awesome.
automatically, the reason why I really like this mechanism that TikTok Shop created is, in the past, when you're working with influencers and you sent a product out, there was nothing you could do to enforce them to create it. Sometimes you send the product out, nothing would be created, and you're like, okay, well,
Or it
I'm
was
out.
like a weird reimbursement thing that was like kind of
Yeah,
janky and things broke.
that's super annoying. And so it got rid of that, because if you request a sample and you don't produce that piece of content from the sample you've requested from the creator side on TikTok Shop, you are limited for asking more samples. And so now you need to
Oh,
really create that
wow.
content, and it's tracked, which is just amazing. So by the sample, you can click that and you can see what content was created by that sample and creator, which is really cool.
Here's a question you're thinking there. It's one
Mm-hmm.
thing if we've got a $5 cost of goods or a $2 cost of goods on a product,
Mm-hmm.
or even a $10. What about a high AOV product that is selling for $100, $200, even $500?
Mm-hmm.
Are you giving away, 5 samples a day of something that can cost a few $100 cost of goods?
That's a really good question. My top of funnel outreach will be the same, because I want quantity. I want people to come in and request the samples. And then I still get to choose whether I want to work with them or not. And so what we're trying to do is filter after we get a response, because the likelihood of it getting to a piece of content is much higher. If I'm filtering before even outreaching, all those people, all that time I've spent, I might not get any responses. So it's not worth it. So let's say I've got a super expensive cost of goods, and I've reached out to all these people, and then I've got a few sample requests from a few of them that I reached out. From there, I'm going to filter and look at, okay, which ones have actually created content that has sold a lot, and I can create kind of an allotment. So each month, I'm going to decide I'm going to send out 30 pieces,
Okay.
30 samples, right? And then you take it from there, as opposed to 100.
But okay, so you
Yeah,
you still are sending, you're being more discerning, maybe you're
yeah.
sending bigger creators,
Mm-hmm.
um, but you still have to get some product. This isn't like a sample program where you're sending out a
No,
product and getting it back.
no. I mean, I just want to do a sidebar here on this,
Mhm.
because if you have an affiliate that gets your product and it goes viral or semi-viral and people go and see that product, not only is an advertisement for your product, but it's an advertisement to other affiliates about your product, because they can see
Uh,
how much views it's getting and how many sales this product is giving. And if you have a juicy commission, well, now you're actually inbound honeypot getting more affiliates to come contact you. And so it makes your life easier. Does that make sense?
so let's talk. I think
Yeah.
commission's like the perfect place to flow to
Yeah.
after, right? So
Yeah.
you've reached out,
Mm-hmm.
you've got responses, you've done the samples. Where does the commission play into it, and
Yeah.
what should you be using as a rule of thumb for commissions?
Good question. I think the way a lot of Amazon sellers are seeing this is they're looking at their profit and they're using that as the point of commission, or slightly less, right? Because they want to have profitable sales on every sale that comes through.
Yep.
I think that's the wrong way of looking at it, because Amazon fulfills demand and TikTok creates demand. And what we've
Hmm.
seen over and over again, if a product pops off on TikTok, you get that benefit halo effect of sales on Amazon and on Shopify.
Hmm.
Plus, when you're selling on TikTok, not only are you don't have the referral fees, you don't have the PPC fees or the coupon fees of Amazon. And so
Yep.
that could be like 30 to 40%, depending on what your product is. All that should be put over to your commission. So I would say a minimum of 20% to start getting affiliates involved. And if anything, I'd go way more aggressive and go at 40% to begin with, because you
Yeah.
can always turn that dial down after you get those pieces of content in front of other affiliates to be like, oh, well, this thing is selling a ton, and I'm going to try and apply for it. And you can turn down that percentage over time.
What do you think? So, what do you think about this train of thought? Right. I'm
Mhm.
coming from the Amazon space. An ACOS of 3 to 1 would be great, right? A 33% ACOS or
Mhm.
ROAS, right? Or 3 to 1 ROAS, 33% ACOS.
Right.
Now, and that's on a PPC spend.
Yeah.
Taking that same 33% or even more, even a 2.5 to 1 return,
Yeah.
40% ACOS. Why wouldn't we just use that for TikTok?
You
Because,
should. Yeah.
right, it's like because of that spillover effect, because like we know we're profitable on that
Yeah.
sale already. Is it
Mhm.
as so go as high as you're comfortable with, go as
I
high
think so.
as your ROAS you will be with any other, people are spending 1 to 1 on Facebook.
Yeah.
And is that
So the way I see it is that it's still fairly early days with TikTok Shop. And if you can get your brand out there and take advantage of this network of affiliates that are willing to create content over and over and over again for the commission to create, their livelihood through this affiliate program, I would do it right now. And as high as that I'm comfortable with. And the reason for that is you have your profit centers in your business. Your business isn't just selling on Amazon. Now it's selling elsewhere as well. So Amazon will have the function of profitability. This one will be top of funnel awareness. And even if you're breaking even, which I don't think you will, I think you'll make way more profit. But let's say even if you were straight up breaking even, it is totally worth it, because now your total addressable market has gone from buyers that are solution aware on Amazon to this buyers that have discovered your product.
Boom. Anything else that we're missing in this? I think we've covered a ton of stuff. It feels like a brand could take this episode and implement it today. Obviously, at Emplicit, if they want us to handle it, we can do that. If they want to implement it with their internal team, awesome. Is there a piece that we're not covering that is part of it? We got commissions, we got parameters, we got search, we got the number of messages, we got a good response rate, we've got the kind of cut sheet as far as like your data studio, as far as like suggestions for how to things. What else is part of this?
The only thing else that I'd say to finish off this strategy for a business to be able to do that, and at the end I'll summarize everything so it can be like just one way to go, is when you start working with affiliates and one or two or three or four of their pieces of content are starting to really go off, contact that affiliate and say, hey, you've done a great job. Would you be willing to share your authorization code so that we can put some Spark ad dollars behind it? Because if it's already pushing, it makes sense to continue making it go further and further out.
Boom.
A lot of brands don't do that.
We're gonna just tease that part there. Like that should be it. We'll continue that in its own episode. I think that I think there's magic in that. There's going to be magic in that. So if you want to recap kind of this phase and what we're calling this, what are we calling this this tactic or strategy?
I'd say TikTok Shop Affiliates 101.
Okay,
that's what I'd call it.
Boom.
So let me summarize what this step is. Step one, create an open plan and a target plan and set your commission at that level. I recommend commissions that are high because you can take all the PPC spend, the referral stuff, and all the fees that you're getting on Amazon, and then transfer that over to the creator so that they can take advantage of that. Next, I would recommend minimum 25 affiliates a day, and you can find them through the Find Creators tab. When I'm looking for creators, what I'd do is I'd filter through these following things. I'd filter through search terms that are relevant to your niche and hashtags that are relevant to the avatar. So for example, if I was selling a product for moms, I would look mom talk, right? Or mom life. That's an example of a broad hashtag that's relevant to my niche. I'm looking for creators that create for that. Next, I'll look for creators that have created content and made some money on this platform in the last 30 days at a minimum. That's what I'm looking for. And the last thing that I would do, I would look for adjacent brands or competing brands that are selling similar products to me, because if they're working with affiliates that are crushing it, I can work with them too. That's a great signal for you to move forward with. After that point, let's say you've got affiliates and you start reaching out. Make sure that you follow up with them after 3 days to really, on that message center, really get in front of them. Let's say you got a piece of content that's created. When you have content that's really starting to push, ask them for their Spark code and push ad spend behind it so that you can really squeeze as much out of that piece of content. And that's also another way of building the relationship with that affiliate even more deeper.
Boom. Wow. I mean, you said it was 101. That's more like master's level right there. I think that is value that you don't see out there given away for free. Like this is stuff people usually keep gated, usually keep in paid courses or masterminds. I'm super stoked that we're giving this away. I think there's gonna be brands that are gonna use it, and then brands that want help, come on over to Emplicit. We can help you implement these strategies and tease the next episode. It's gonna be we're not slowing down. We're only getting better and better at these.
100%. Okay, so next episode, this is the plan. Obviously, we spoke about affiliates and getting started, Affiliates 101. I want to talk about how that bridges into ads, and then eventually we'll talk about how that bridges into organic as well. So next episode, let's focus on some Spark ads and really the unique mechanism that TikTok and TikTok Shop has developed for us brands to be able to take organic content from influencers and really supercharge it.
Boom. Thanks, Rafa. Another great one. See you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye, guys.